Hi, I'm back again, continuing to share my experience during my time working at Wegmans. I was a former employee there, working in the grocery section, or say grocery department, things like that. Previously, I shared quite a lot on the things I remember. First was my encounter meeting Devon. Then the training I had with Rich, who was the third person to train me. So those were, and I didn't realize that it will be longer again.
My
This
bad.
time it ended up being two parts. So I didn't want to make it very long. Just I thought like let me just separate it into 20 minutes at the most. Um, I wanted to just stick to 15 minutes, but one thing led after another. Remembering things, popping up. Um, just coming up in the back of my mind and into the front of my head. Oh gosh, I'm so anyway. Anyways, so that was that's what's up. Still having that sore throat, still having that little under the weather bug kind of thing. It's not so much a sore throat. Um, it's just some buildup in my throat that's making me feel and sound froggy like. It's like that vibrating. When I speak, it's like a vibrating feeling, and this that's build up, and the more builds up, I need to try to clear my throat to get it out of the way, things like that. So I'm doing pretty okay. Just it's annoying that the process to clear it out is taking its toll, I guess, and too much time. Still taking some of the medication that I was prescribed. Just I gotta try to like my due diligence during my time home attending. I used to do well at you know preventing myself getting sick or making making the when if I'm suddenly sick, I try to make it short, like I'm suddenly sick one day but then I'm no longer the next day, or the process will take 7 days. The thing is that the process to stop feeling sick or to make it short is just that it's costly. Then going for the doctor version, I would do bit of holistic version of things to make myself well in a short amount of time. Modern medicine is so, it's okay. It's just this is taking too long. I wouldn't it wouldn't take like nearly a month for any effects infects, let me say, yeah, infects to clear out of the body, out of the system. It would just take when doing something holistic, it would take lesser than a month or lesser than 7 days, something like that. That have been my experience, no issue. And my visit to the doctor wouldn't be so frequent as it is right now. At the moment, it's becoming frequent. I'm visiting the doctor. So now to proceed with sharing about my experience. So as of now, I'm going to, I don't like to say that word, give like some I don't want to say that word, but the word is script. What I mean by scripted or script word, I'm going to write things down what I can remember. That would help. And I'm going to read out loud what I wrote, what I remember, things, also what I have in mind. I'm going to do that from now on, while I am, in the process trying to be healthy, sort of. Yeah. So I have my writing notes. That would help. So writing notes down for me, it'll help, and hopefully that can shorten the amount of video time, like less than 20 minutes, hopefully. So now to continue. Still, it's the second week, and still with doing with the training. Now, this is what I wrote down because I realized about something. I said I need to make a correction. I had mentioned before my first encounter with Devon, and I may have incorrectly remembered about the first encounter. When I arrived in the morning, the bus, like I had mentioned before, it was the second week on the training, and my bus buddy was done from her training. So it wasn't easy to find a seat for myself or share a seat with someone from time to time. And, it was no biggie, not a big deal. But I think it did come to a time where I finally, outspoke. You see, I wrote down out loud, but I wasn't loud. I outspoke and asked if anybody doesn't mind me taking a seat next to whomsoever. And this is the correct way I exactly remember. Devon actually signaled his attention to me, letting me know I could have the seat next to him. So that's what it was, how it happened. I didn't directly exactly ask him if I could have a seat next to him. Actually, like I said, I spoke, was asking anybody in the bus who was okay with me having a seat next to whomsoever. So it was very sweet of Devon. It was very kind of him. So that's how it happened. He let me. He was okay that I have the seat next to him. So that was cool. Like I said, it's very sweet of him. That's my dear sweet little brother. So so thanks a lot. Thank you. Where am I? Darn it. As about the other two encounters, they're correct. Just that one little fuzzy memory mistake I made. And no, he didn't end up being my next bus buddy. No, me and like all the rest, we wanted a seat for ourselves at the time at the bus. So that's cool. So that's all right. So now that's out of the way. Let's go with the continuing of the training. So my training with Rich was done, and if I remember correct, he was off for the day from work. So for the second day on the second week, which that was a Tuesday, for what I can photogenically remember was working back with Sandra. I can remember us working on the runner for the Italian condiment and barbecue sauces and dressings. all in combination in that one aisle, as well as working on the international aisles. I can also remember working back with Yoselas and with the other two young college ladies in the Spanish aisle. Mostly we were doing the Goyas, the live and backstock runners. I believe for your Celis and Sandra, they didn't have anything else to train me on, but just be observant in my progress, how I'm doing with the job of the task. And I think that was it, I guess. And then in the third day, which that was Wednesday, I believe it started to happen Wednesday. I arrived in the morning coming from the bus along with the rest of the recruiters. I went down to the back room, and at that moment, I had a sudden thought of recognition, or not recognition, more like a realization. And what I realized at that time was that Diamond wasn't with me any longer to go through the training process as I did. I guess I felt a little down. She didn't quite went through the amount of training experience as I did. Yeah, as I did. That's the correct phrase. And I wish she did. So dang it. um anyway, then I wouldn't had felt alone. Yeah, that I felt a little bit, I felt kind of alone, even though Ariana was going through the process as I did, but it just didn't feel the same. Even it felt good that I and Ariana were there. And even though I didn't know Diamond that very well, I don't know her that very well. Still, I felt a bit alone, a bit kind of lonely, but like, yeah, just for a little bit. But until my brain was like commanding me to let it go. It was commanding me like, grow the hell up. There's important matters to focus on. So I obeyed, and that's what I did. I let it go and focus on the training. So, like I said before, for the third day, the second week, like I said before, for the third day on the second week of the training, well, actually, before I went into the back room, I came and stopped by to the two young college employee ladies. What a way for me to refer to them that way, since I've forgotten about their names. But anyways, I asked them if they wanted me to like work with them or take cover tasks for one of them they're working on. One of the ladies advised me to go see and ask Matt, the department manager, if to go work with this other particular Wegmans employee. And when I went in the back room, I saw Matt, and he told me to go to this particular employee and where in which aisle to find her she was working on. Before I go any further sharing about what was my experience with her, Rich, he informed me about her beforehand when I was being trained by him. And the best way what I can remember what he said was, to not worry about her. So, in other words, what he was advising me was that for me not to feel intimidated by her. She may look like not a nice person, but once you get to know her, she's very kind. Because when I saw her from time to time during the training, I did felt a little intimidated by her. But just visually remembering back, she did appear like, that this kind of like a lone ranger. Like she was fine going solo, just working on her own. She could do all right just fine by herself. And I kind of sound like I'm saying all of that a bit too much, but um, because of personality, because of just that kind of personality is nothing new to me. But here's been the thing with me. When I try making the first move, being the respectful and civilized person, this is the funny part, excuse me. I would get and I'm expressing like way back experiences ever before working in Wegmans. I would either get in response the side eye, up and down look, whether the person responds or not, or I do get the response, but no eye contact. Like I ain't got the time dealing with you or don't want to deal with you as of yet attitude. And or I would get some form of acknowledged, but the person still don't want to deal with me, but I have grown over to this person because he or she gotten used of me. Like me or not, the person just grown to get used of me. But instead the word or, like putting in the word or so much in between, it can be an all combination. It's just one step and one day at a time till I've grown over to the person. That person is getting used to me and just may like me a little. And that kind of personality used to not bother me. What I'm trying to say, the disinterest characteristic, the not yet interest, and just to be cautious. It's better to like get along at a distance and not get into each other's way. That kind of thing, and that's fine with me. To me, to me, I consider that's the way keeping the peace, keeping things calm until you grow to get used to each other. This had just made me think about TL1 when I first encounter him. Like I think like with him, he had like this disinterest presence. Not disinterest like I don't want to deal with you. The disinterest of him being, like I said from the start, being serious. The you applied here and it's expected that you better start working. Um, and this is a word I learned in the past from one of my clients I home attend to. He had like this stoic presence. He was stoic. That's 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 what um that's what I remember about TL1. His stoicism, however is pronounced. So and that was cool with me. It was cool with me, and that's what I think I showed for towards him. I think at the time. So yeah, that was cool, no problem. But there, I think I'm better off, and I don't know. I think I'm better off with that um versus this trying so hard and push in so much pressure in order, where in my view, about people that behave this way, demanding one's attention. And in my view, that person, that kind of person, I wouldn't consider sane. I don't consider someone behave like that, to me, is stable and not secure. Um, that behavior to me is a turnoff and uncomfortable, as well questionable when approaching someone that's unfamiliar. Um, and I've had that experience in Wegmans, and it was kind of uncomfortable to me. The what was that word I used in the beginning? Persistent is the word. The pressure to get that instant quick connection with the person, just wanting to like get into the rush to connect with someone new, and that made me uncomfortable. I've experienced that a couple of times from management, not all of them, but some of them, and HR and whomever, I guess assistant under them, is kind of uncomfortable. Um, they weren't, if there was what I experienced, not taking it slowly, just as though they were in a hurry, like they want that connection now right away. Like what? There was just no relatable understanding. There was no like common relatable understanding. There wasn't any I have with either one of them, and of course there was nothing they had either one for me. So I couldn't do that. I they could, like, they could at least like just take it one step at a time, not go like be in a hurry, in a rush, in an instant, and commanding it to have it. It, it was weird, and and there are certain characteristic personalities I have very little and zero tolerance of. But I'm not going to get off topic about it. Like, I'm not going to get into that much details about it. It will just take way too long. So, yes, the fourth Wegmans employee I was going to work and be trained by her, I would, at that time, be careful to not bother her and not be in her way until when the time had come. And so that time had finally come, all thanks from Rich, the two ladies, and department manager Matt, the big papa, old daddy old. So what I can remember was walking out from the back room in search of the fourth employee. I don't remember which number of the aisle I was told to find her, but I do remember it was a shelf for granola bars and some boxes of cookies she was working on. I remember I approached her, but I must had the first time speaking with her acknowledge her. I must have. It just wouldn't make any sense why I didn't in that manner.